Boom. Okay, sound seems to be working. Okay, I think we're good.
I can help you target her location. And the Slayers, using the tether.
Yes. That would be most useful.
So here's my question. Why is this other guy helping the devil?
No harm must come to her. She is the heart of Argent.
Then why didn't she use her sorcery against us?
The true scope of that human's power is unknown to her. The ceremony, it must take place in my world.
Of course.
The heart is found. Now give to me what is owed. Return our god to us.
Close the gate.
We've tried to attack here before, but we couldn't break through to Azric's fortress. Look out for damaged Atlands. You may have to repair one to reach the target. take those out, we'll be clear to get one of those Atlins working again.
Updating markers.
How you doing, bro? How do I get over there? Can't climb up here. Aha, okay, there's a way through here, okay. Damn it! Colorful Widow, I'm doing good, man.
cell cannon remains.
One second, guys. I legitimately have no idea which way I'm going right now. There's a key there. Have to get to that key. Okay. That's that open. Ah. Where do we go from here? What's the thing? Where do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I can't jump across there. Aha! What's the thing there? Aha! No worries, bro. Catch you later. Down here. How on earth do I get to it? It's down that way? Over here. So it's down there. Right, okay. To get around there. How do I get around there? Goes into here, to here. We've been at this spot before. Which way do I go? How do I get down there? Okay, this feels a bit more better. What's this? What's this? Come on. That's so odd. What's... Hey, man. I'm good. Yeah. No. It's like there's no one watching right now. I'm mostly just playing around with it. Hey there. Yeah, it is, yeah.
Almost bought it.
I'm so low. I need to get through here. And I have no idea how to open it up. Like, no idea at all. I'm genuinely stuck. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed it a few times. Like, these things here have to open up, but I don't know what to do to make them open. So I'm... Maybe it's a rocket launcher? It doesn't even... Let's go throw it through, yeah. I can't get through. It's just... It's... I can't... I'm stuck. Maybe it's a glitch. Anyway. How can I help? What is it you're looking for exactly? Okay. Okay, right, back. So, these things here, I have to climb through. But I think an event wasn't triggered, so I can't get past it, and I don't know why. Do I have to melee it or something? No. Why can't... I don't understand it. I really don't get it. What am I supposed to do here? Ooh, that's a giant titan, just realized. Okay, so let's have a look. Go back. This is where we started from. There's something here. Ah! Oh, I got a toy! So it's... Okay. Shit. No. What the heck? I get to here. Damn it.
a power core nearby that still holds a charge. You can use it to get the other Atlan online.
Energy level stable at 92%.
I'll get stuck. round there. Okay. It's up there? Aha! Right, okay. Just trying to... Okay, I've got to get back there. How the hell do you get back there? I'm guessing I've got to get on the hand and up the hand. If that's true, then what? I'll come through there, maybe? How do I get back there then? I'm guessing it's clearly there. So the question is, how do I get back there? Wooden door. It's made of wood. How can I not break through it? Oh. Fuck me. Okay, that was different. I have to get up there. Around the back of that thing. What am I missing? Well, the whole time. Right there it was. Select what?
System reboot in progress. Azric's signal is still inside.
Bishop Creed has called a meeting with me. We need you at the command station. Opening a portal now.
Bishop Creed has arrived. Access control zones in effect.
Security clearance required. Access denied.
Okay, some funky shit's about to go down.
Attack warning red. All personnel, please evacuate the facility.
This base is under attack. Scramble the air units. All hands to battle stations.
Be after the Creed.
Hull breach. Damage on multiple levels. Move the Creed to the command deck. Portal opening above the command station. Something massive is coming through. We need air support. Ensign, prepare the Slayer's Dragon. communications are jammed. We can't reach Valen or Novik. Keep trying. They're blocking our flight decks. We need the Slayer in the air. The station won't last much longer.
We can't stop them!
Damn it. Fuck me. Okay, that was quick.
The rift is getting larger.
deemed it. Energy readings are all wrong.
Those tentacles are ripping the station apart. Take them out. Subsection barrier is down. Lower levels accessible.
God damn, this thing won't die. There it is. Where's the other point? It's down. It's here. Wait. Where is it? Right, it's over there. Oh god, it's way over here. So this is the point. Where is it? If I go down here, I'm just going to end up doing the exact same thing I did before. But it's the only way to get to the checkpoint. So I'm like, where is this? What am I supposed to be finding down here? What's down here? What's here? What is here? I'm right bang on where you're telling me to go, and there's nothing around here. There's no way of jumping off. There's no checkpoint. There's no nothing. So did the game developer just get bored and think, screw it, I'm going to stick a checkpoint right in the middle for no reason? I assume not. Right, let's just try and find another way around. Maybe I'm missing something here. Where's the other? Okay, it's there. Comes around here. And then stops there. What's this? Can't do that one. I've been through this one before. There's nothing here. This checkpoint right here, there's nothing behind it. Absolute way. I don't know why the developers put it in. Unless later on it leads to something different, but right now there's no point in it being there at all. 0 point. There's one here, okay. Damn it.
Portal gates closed.
All tentacles have been cleared. Threat neutralized.
I guess we're just too slow to help her, huh? Okay.
The Makers didn't know it was here. Hold your position.
Found a control switch.
The Church wants the Creed and Thera safely returned, and they're willing to help. According to the Makers, inside this tomb is a deity. that will lead you to their location. The Bishop's ministry has asked that the Slayer alone take this mission. They trust no one else. I cannot disobey the Church, but will be on alert.
The entire structure was built just to keep this creature in stasis. We need to wake it up. Makers have given us directions.
Targets identified. Locking coordinates.
signs rising.
Let me guess, there's no sound here? There's no sound. What a surprise. Why is it always breaking? Virtual A. Game, see if that works.
Russian officials say 7 people have been killed and 50 others injured in Ukrainian drone attacks overnight that set an oil depot and 2 warehouses belonging to Russia's biggest online retailers on fire. This is the moment the warehouse collapsed in flames. Huge clouds of smoke could be seen then in the skies. The mayor of Moscow said more than 370.
I mean, this is really like a news thing. There you go.
Back now with sharks getting a little too close for comfort. A shark was caught on camera swimming near a popular East Coast beach. Morgan Norwood joins us now with the details on that. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Lindsay. Yes, that was a nearly 6-foot-long shark, and it sent panicked swimmers running to the sand in Cape May Point.
And across the Middle East, like that, he just has these corrupt relationships. We don't know if it's financial with Bibi. Obviously, Bibi was influencing him, but we have Qatar's plane now. His son-in-law's in business with the Saudis. Like, how can you prosecute a war judiciously when you're getting paid off by everybody in the region?
Let's wait and see whether what they're doing is corrupt or not. There will obviously be more.
This is the question that you need to ask next, okay? If Tim asks this, I will donate my whole life savings and everything I have and will ever make to the Bulwark if he asks this next. When somebody gives you an answer like this, you go, okay, fine, I accept all of that. What are you changing in your worldview going forward so that you don't make the same mistake again? Because clearly you missed something huge that a bunch of other people that you claimed were delusional were actually seeing. What are you going to change going forward so you don't fall into the same con man trap again? That's what I would want to hear.
All right, he is the host of Piers Morgan Uncensored on YouTube. It's Piers Morgan himself. The tables are turned. Welcome to the show.
I'm a bit apprehensive about this because I suddenly realized you've never interviewed me. And I've had you on my show many times, thank you. But this is like the real poacher turned gamekeeper, as we would say in England.
I love that you're apprehensive. Well, I'm going to start with a compliment. We're going to start, we're going to butter you up at the beginning because we may have some disagreements to get to. I've been trying to have you on since your interview with Russell Brand.
I heard, I heard El Sayed's taxes dropped. I saw that this morning. Apparently he had like 680K last year or something. People were mad.
Moment of professional jealousy for me for this reason. For people who didn't watch it, you were asking him about what Bible verse he was referencing, and let's play what happened.
Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. I didn't know, did it?
A little bit.
This was so humiliating. Oh my
from
God.
Isaiah. You're right, Blair did say, be chilled. Sometimes I lose the chill, man. It's pretty... I can't actually...
Banging your mom.
I can't actually find the verse that I had that day.
Oh no.
But this is good enough.
Yeah? Tell us.
This is from Isaiah 12.
That goes on for over 100 seconds, Piers. How did you do that? What was going through your head? How did you summon the will to just sit there?
You must have personally slighted him.
Pages for almost 2 minutes.
Piers actually holds somebody accountable.
When I was at CNN, if you had 3-4 seconds of silence, it was something that they would launch an investigation into. So obviously my team were in my ear saying, you may want to get in now. Let's get in now, because it was as it went on. But I could just sense there was something quite magical unfurling, which was that
the whole Russell Brand situation for me is legitimately bizarre. So I grew up in England. I only left England like 10 years ago to move to North America. In England, Russell Brand was known as a very left-wing, borderline socialist, comedian who would say and do daft things all the time. And now he's basically, I think he lives in the States, and he's like a full-blown Christian conservative. And the only thing that changed, as far as I can tell, to make him go from one to the other is in the UK, there was suddenly a massive allegations about him sleeping around and having sex with a bunch of girls and, somewhat underage and, sexual assault and all that kind of stuff. It's remarkable how quickly that kind of thing will change a person.
grifter, and I think we can safely say he's a grifter, who had become a born-again Christian 7 months after all these allegations flew against him, had gone into court in England clutching this Bible, which had all these little notes attached to it and passages underlined and so on. And so I asked him the obvious question, which was, which of the passages brought you most succor at your difficult moment? And he said, well, there's one.
Just to give you an idea, here, look. Russell Brand, Peter Hitchens. Here.
Let's take a question from the front row. Peter Hitchens, you had your hand up.
It's like 14 years ago.
Before he goes, I'd like to ask the alleged comedian in the hat whether we've had a lot of him, and far too much for me, but he says he's not responsible for his own drug taking. Isn't the problem with the Western countries that we repeatedly say, oh, we're not responsible. When we take drugs, we do it because we're made to. Somebody made me do it. When in fact, it's a pleasure that we seek. People do it because they want to. They do it for a pleasure. And then, as a result of the demand, which is quite rightly mentioned by the President of Colombia at the beginning of this, the demand which drives the supply, then ruin and murder and warfare and bloodshed and all the other evils. Worldwide.
Yeah, don't care, Peter, don't care.
He certainly is.
It's nice to receive your bigotry from another medium other than the hate rag, the Mail on Sunday, through which you normally peddle hatred, insular thought, lack of love between human beings. What I'm saying, mate,
have an argument for a moment, would you?
Whether or not I'm selfish or wearing a hat is redundant and irrelevant. These are the kind of personal attacks, the aggressive stance that you continually adopt to vilify people needlessly. Okay, what's next? Criminalise being a bit brown? Is that your next policy from the Mail on Sunday? We can't listen to people like you anymore. We're too evolved as a species.
That's an idiot.
I mean, he's literally gone from, like I said here, like a borderline left-wing communist to a full-blown Christian conservative. So when Piers turns around and basically says, yeah, I think the guy's a grifter, I agree. Like, I grew up not knowing this guy personally, but seeing his work and seeing him, on the TV all the time talking about things. And then the moment allegations come out that put him into court, where he has to sort of defend himself up against the fact that he's basically, allegedly raping a bunch of women, It is a complete 180 changes his mind.
In 7 months after all these allegations flew against him,
Anyway.
had gone into court in England, clutching this Bible, which had all these little notes attached to it, and passages underlined and so on. And so I asked him the obvious question, which was, which of the passages brought you most succor at your difficult moment? And he said, well, there's one in particular. Now, if you were a genuine born-again Christian, and you were really, as he claims to be, completely immersed now in daily life with your new relationship with God and the Bible and Christianity and so on, you would probably remember the verse that you're talking about, which was the one that was most important to you in your hour of darkness. But not only could he not remember,
yeah, it's the verse that would, it means the most to you. It got you through it. It was the one you were telling yourself over and over and over again. If you actually had a verse like that from any document, you would know it off by heart and you would know exactly where to find it.
he couldn't remember where the hell it was in the Bible. So as he continued to rustle, pun intended, I realized this was very illuminating, because I think what it really showed, and this was the view of most people who watched it, was that it's probably all a bit of a grift, and he's not really reading the Bible every day, and he's not really into this quite the way he would like us to think. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
Let's go back to some Trump thoughts that you've had. But around Thanksgiving, after he was elected, you wrote in the New York Post that he called you and you think he's ready to be one of America's great presidents. You said that you've been struck by the realization that he's a changed man.
Wait. Was this from the last election or from in 2016?
Yeah, there's something about Pierce that still throws me to this day when he says it. It's kind of like, what made you think it'd be better the second time round?
16.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how that's looking now.
Not great. Because he unfortunately has reverted to type. But more.
How? This is what I mean when I say I can't take any of these people seriously. When they complain about anything that the liberals do, and people are like, well, you got to take a complaint seriously. And it's like, how do you get so much charity for the conservatives to make so many fucking mistakes, but then to still get so much unconditional support for them? It doesn't make any sense. Please make it make sense to me. Because Fauci, I don't even know if Fauci fucked up on the mask thing, to be honest, because I feel like I went to look it up once, and I feel like the claim about him lying about masks actually wasn't even true. But I'd have to go back and look it up again. But
in all fairness, I'm pretty sure with the whole Fauci thing, thinking back, because I remember when was talking about this, it was actually on camera in the press conference talking. My understanding is that to begin with, there was a mask shortage. And so the attitude was, listen, don't wear masks because we want to make sure the masks are going to the hospitals and going to the doctors and going to the right places. But then as production caught up with demand, then it shifted to wear masks. I personally think they were saying that a lot of politicians were just basically saying, look, wear the mask, even if you didn't need to, just because it was easier than getting into the debate about it. But yeah, that's from what I remember.
Assuming that is true, Fauci made one mistake ever and about masks, and that was enough to discredit a lifetime of work in public health, epidemiology, and everything else. Meanwhile, the conservatives spoke up so many times, and people like Piers are like, well, I'm ready to give him another chance. Why? Where does all this charity come from?
Worryingly, I think, for his legacy, he has begun to do things which he specifically campaigned on the opposite.
Wow.
Not going
the guy
into
who did
war
that the first
in
time?
the Middle East, for example.
Bro.
Focusing on America first and getting inflation.
Well, Trump's problem from my point of view is, and always has been, but the guy doesn't have a philosophy. He doesn't have a guiding principle. His idea basically is, I want to be great, I want to be wealthy, and I want everyone to love me. And so long as I don't care what I have to do to achieve that. And because he has no guiding principles following that, he just go. The statement is true. He will basically do and follow the advice of the last person who spoke to him.
Down and so on. Well, why would you launch a global trade war, and why would you go to war with Iran if actually those campaign aims were your priority? It's the opposite. It's going to
Because he doesn't care. And that's the short answer. Is he doesn't care. He never cared. It was always ever about this power. That's literally all it ever was. Just this power and the desire to be wanted.
Have the opposite effect, as we've seen. So I think it's unfortunate. You know, I did think that Trump Mark II, particularly after he survived several assassination attempts, I felt, talking to him, he was a bit of a changed character.
Oh,
but, you know,
my
there's
God.
also the reality check. He's just turned 80.
I also are people just not equipped to deal with scam artists? Because this is the thing it was said about Trump, it said about Andrew Tate. People will say things like, well, I talked to him, and after talking to him, he actually seemed like really genuine. Like, he's a scam
Okay, you know
artist.
what? I'm going to jump out the stream.
Of course. That's how a scam artist works. Is if they can talk to you, they'll be able to convince you anything. This is why you look at